It's the sound every cyclist dreads, that sudden psh, followed by the wobbly, sinking feeling in your stomach and in your bike, a flat tire. It can feel like a disaster, especially when you're miles from home. But what if I told you it's not a disaster at all? It's a rite of passage, a skill that every confident cyclist has mastered. And today, I'm going to show you, step by step, how you can master it too. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Chavez Cycling. Today, we're on the side of the road to tackle the most common mechanical issue you will ever face. We're going to turn that moment of panic into a moment of empowerment. This is your complete, step-by-step guide to fixing a flat tire. I'm going to break this down into small, simple, manageable steps. We'll go through it together. My goal is that by the end of this video, you will have the confidence to know that a flat tire is just a minor inconvenience, not a ride-ending catastrophe. Whether you're riding on the smooth highways or the rustic back roads we have here in Bangladesh, this is a skill that gives you the freedom to explore without fear. First things first, if you get a flat, pull over to a safe location well away from traffic. Take a deep breath, you've got this. Let's start by looking at the tools you'll need. Preparation is everything. You can't fix a flat if you don't have the right tools, and thankfully, they are small, light, and easy to carry in a little bag under your saddle. Let's lay them out. First, and most obviously, you need a spare inner tube. It is absolutely critical that this is the right size for your tire and has the right valve type for your rim. Check the side of your tire. It will say something like 700 by 28C. Your tube must match this sizing. Also, check if your bike uses the skinny Presta valves or the car-style Schrader valves, and get the matching tube. Second, you'll need two tire levers. These are small plastic pry bars used to get the tire off the rim. Do not ever use a screwdriver or metal tool for this. You will damage your wheel. Third, you need a way to inflate the new tube. You have two main options: a mini pump, which is small and light and provides infinite air, although it takes a bit of work, or a CO2 inflator, which uses a small compressed gas cartridge to inflate your tire in seconds. They are very fast, but each cartridge is one-time use. For beginners, a reliable mini pump is a great place to start. Optionally, it's also great to have a simple patch kit in case of a second flat, and a pair of disposable nitrile gloves to keep your hands clean. That's it. That's your entire flat kit. With your tools ready, it's time to remove the wheel. We'll start with the rear wheel, as it's the more intimidating one. Here is the #1 pro tip that makes this 10 times easier. Before you do anything else, shift your chain into the smallest cog on the rear cassette. This moves the derailleur out of the way and gives the chain the most slack, making the wheel much easier to remove and reinstall. Okay, once you're in the smallest gear, you can release the wheel. Most bikes use either a quick release skewer or a through axle. For a quick release, just flip the lever open. You might need to unscrew the nut on the other side a few turns to give enough clearance. For a through axle, you'll simply unscrew it and pull it out. Now, with one hand, pull the body of the derailleur backwards towards the back of the bike. This will pull the chain pulley out of the way. With your other hand, guide the wheel downwards and forwards, and it should drop right out of the frame. Just let it rest on the ground for now. For a front wheel, it's even simpler. Open the quick release or remove the through axle. If you have rim brakes, you'll need to open the brake caliper by flipping the small release lever on it. This spreads the brake pads apart so the tire can fit through. Then the wheel just drops out. With the wheel off the bike, let's get that tire off. First, go to the valve and press the little pin in the center to make sure every last bit of air is out of the tube. This makes the tire looser on the rim. Next, go around the entire wheel on both sides and use your thumbs to push the edge of the tire, called the bead, away from the rim and towards the center. This breaks the seal and creates the slack we need to get our levers in. Now grab your two tire levers. Go to a spot on the wheel opposite the valve. Slide the scooped end of the first lever under the tire bead, pry it up and over the edge of the rim. Most levers have a little hook on the other end. Use this to hook the lever onto the nearest spoke to hold it in place. Now take your second lever. A few inches away from the first one, slide it under the bead and simply push it forward, running it along the rim like a zipper. The tire bead will pop off easily. Once one side is off, you can reach inside and pull out the punctured inner tube. Start opposite the valve and pull the valve out last.
Listen carefully, because this is the step that most beginners skip, and it is the absolute difference between a successful repair and a second flat tire 5 minutes after you start riding again. You must find what caused the puncture. There are 2 places to check. First, the tire itself. Very carefully, run your fingers along the entire outside tread of the tire. Go slowly. You are feeling for anything sharp that might still be embedded in the rubber. A tiny sliver of glass, a metal wire, a sharp thorn. Next, do the same thing on the inside of the tire. This is even more important. Be careful, but run your fingertips or a cloth along the entire inner surface. That tiny piece of glass might have broken off on the inside. If you find anything, pry it out. Finally, check the rim. Look at the rim strip, the plastic or cloth band that covers the spoke holes. Make sure it's centered and that there are no sharp metal edges from the spoke holes poking through. A puncture from the inside is called a pinch flat, and a bad rim strip is often the cause. Do not skip this step.
Okay, we found the culprit and we're ready to install our new tube. Take your new tube and using your pump, put just a little bit of air into it. Just 1 or 2 pumps is enough. You just want it to hold a round shape. This is another pro tip that prevents the tube from getting twisted or pinched when you install it. Now, start by finding the valve hole in the rim. Push the valve of your new, slightly inflated tube through the hole. Now, gently tuck the rest of the tube up into the tire, making sure there are no twists. Now it's time to put the tire back on. This can be the trickiest part. The key is to use your hands as much as possible, not your levers. Start at the spot opposite the valve. Use the palms of your hands and your thumbs to push the bead of the tire back down into the rim. Work your way around the wheel, pushing the bead on from both sides simultaneously. You will get to a final section, usually near the valve, that feels incredibly tight and seems impossible to push on. Do not just grab a lever and force it. You will almost certainly pinch and puncture your brand new tube. Here is the secret. Go back around to the tire that is already on. Use your thumbs to push the tire bead from the edge of the rim down into the center channel. This channel is deeper, and by moving the bead into it, you create just enough slack to easily pop that last tight section over the rim with just the pressure of your thumbs. It's like magic. Once the tire is on, do a final check. Go around both sides of the wheel and look at the line where the tire meets the rim. Make sure that you can't see any of the inner tube peeking out from underneath. If you do, deflate the tube a bit and tuck it back in. We're on the home stretch. It's time to inflate the tire. If you're using a mini pump, it will take a few minutes of steady pumping. You don't need to get it to full pressure, just get it firm enough to ride home safely. If you're using a CO2 inflator, it will inflate in about 2 seconds. Just be careful, as the cartridge gets very cold. With the tire inflated, it's time to put the wheel back on the bike. This is just the reverse of how we took it off. For the rear wheel, make sure the chain is looped over the smallest cog, pull the derailleur back, and guide the wheel up and into the dropouts. For the front wheel, just slide it into place. Secure your quick-release lever or through axle. Remember, the quick-release lever should be tight enough that it leaves an imprint on your hand when you close it. And don't forget the final step, if you opened your rim brake caliper, close it now. Give the wheel a spin to make sure it's seated correctly, not rubbing on the frame or the brake pads. And that's it. You did it. You've just successfully fixed a flat tire on the side of the road. Pack up your tools, get back on your bike, and finish your ride with a new sense of pride and confidence. Let's recap the key secrets to success. Shift to the smallest cog before removing the rear wheel. Always find the cause of the puncture. Put a little air in your new tube before installing it, and use the rim's center channel to help you get the tire on without levers. My final piece of advice is this. The best time to fix your first flat is not on a rainy day miles from home. Practice this once in the comfort of your garage or living room. The confidence you'll gain is priceless. If this guide was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Chavez Cycling for more essential skills. Now get out there, ride with confidence, and know that you are prepared for whatever the road throws at you.